hello again, everybody. Thanks for logging on to CBS4Indy.com or Fox59.com for our Colts webcast. I'm Chris Widlick, and this is Andrew Walker, a writer for Colts.com. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks. Nice day today, not as hot as yesterday, and
Perfect,
a lot of hitting going on today.
What's your early take on these first 5-6 days of Colts camp? You know, we don't have the starting quarterback right now, but other than that, how do you think things are going?
I've been keeping a close eye on the defense because we all know what the schedule is going to be for the Colts, especially on the road. You start with the Chargers. You've got guys like the Pittsburgh Steelers. You've got Kansas City. You've got, New Orleans late in the season on Monday Night Football. So those are all elite MVP-type quarterbacks, so you really need your defense on point. So I think this defense is flying around. It's doing a really good job early on. I think they've won the day more than maybe the offense to this point. And again, take the caveat because your starting quarterback's not in there, but Jacoby Brissett's made some plays too. And but I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this linebacker competition. I couldn't even begin to tell you where the cornerback competition is. There's so many guys in and out. Seems like a few guys are making plays here and there. So seems like we're going to start seeing these groups round up a little bit more as the Buffalo preseason game gets going. So we'll see kind of where the competition is there. But overall, I think it's been very, very, very good as far as competition-wise and getting things done.
Your take on the defensive line? I know we're going to miss Jabal Sheard for a little while. Justin Houston plugged in, and wow, right?
Yeah, he's one guy I was so excited about when you hear he's coming to the Colts because Freeney, Mathis, he's of that same mold. You look at his career and he's been able to do those sorts of things. So to add that flavor to your defensive line, that's great. But Danico Autry, he's been dominant every single day of camp that he's been out here. One-on-ones with Quentin Nelson, those two go at it. And, he's done a great job. Those are fun to watch. If you come out to Westfield, watch those one-on-ones because they're great with the D lineman and the O lineman. But Tyquan Lewis is doing a good job moving up. And then Al-Qadim Muhammad's a name you guys want to get familiar with because he's a guy that played a lot last year, but kind of a more limited role. But he'll play a lot with Jabal Sheard out. He's a very similar type player, very good in the run, very solid in knowing his assignments.
Yeah, I think Autry probably one of Chris Ballard's best early free agent signings. He has been a star, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, with the Raiders, a role player, a guy that did well with the snaps that he got, but didn't get a whole lot of them, like a starter snaps, and he comes here, has 9 sacks in 12 games. He was hurt a few games and adds a sack in the postseason. So a guy that's adding at the 3-tech exactly what they want. They want pressure. They want slippery guys that are going to get to the quarterback and make plays in the backfield, and that's exactly what Danico Autry brings you.
What's your early take on the rookie class and who might step up and see maybe more time?
We've saw today E.J. Speed was playing, some Sam linebacker, even playing some Will linebacker. So he's a guy, 5th-round pick out of Tarleton State, tiny school by these standards, but he's doing a good job adjusting. He's still kind of learning on the fly as far as what you want at this level, but he's got all the athleticism and speed you want. So he's a guy I've been impressed with. And then, Rock Yassin. Your first pick in the early in the second round there. Another pick today. This one not of the tipped variety that he's had a couple days ago where he had 2 picks in one day, but he's been doing a really good job. That was on Devin Funchess, a really, really competitive rep there where he was able to get Funchess and collect that interception. So Yassin and Paris Campbell's been hurt a little bit with a hamstring, but he's been impressive. All around the board, this rookie class seems like it's coming on pretty quickly, just like last year. You can't count on it every year. Eventually you're going to have fewer and fewer picks because you're going to have fewer spots for these guys, but they've done a good job drafting, and these guys have contributed a lot here early, and we'll see how they develop.
Yeah, Speed's got some speed.
Yeah,
as you mentioned.
Imagine that.
21 of 22 starters returning this year. Do you see any position that might be pushed that we may see a new face?
Yeah, it's tough to say. You might say Anthony Walker and Bobby Okereke are in a kind of a good competition there at the Mike linebacker. I think at this point you defer to the experience and Walker. Great all-around season last year, 100-plus tackles and a lot of passes deflected in coverage and a couple sacks here and there. So he's still a good leader for you, a good defender, but I can't really point, Yassin might get in the conversation at corner, but then again, you have Pierre Desir and Kenny Moore and guys like that there. So, you're in a good spot there. If you can return that many guys and then your rookies are contributing either, 4 starting spots or 4 of those really key backup roles, then I think you're doing a good job.
Well, Chris Ballard and Frank Reich in the offseason say they want to really emphasize the running game first. How do you think that's unfolding so far early in camp?
Yeah, I think as the pads have come on, you've seen a lot more. I think today especially they had a first and goal from the 1 type drill, and it was live. It wasn't, just touch the guy and the whistle's blowing. It was live. And yesterday we saw it a little bit too, but the pads weren't on. But still, the run game was pretty good as far as Jonathan Williams, a guy that fans might want to know, a guy that could earn a spot as maybe a third running back. And, of course, Marlon Mack and Naeem Hines kind of play their roles. We'll see, because Spencer Ware's been hurt. We'll see if he can get in the mix, but it's going to be interesting to see if they can get in the top 5 in a run game with Andrew Luck at quarterback. I mean, look out. That's going to be a very dynamic offense, even more than it was last year.
I'm going to get your thoughts on the concern or lack thereof of Andrew Luck, but earlier we had a chance to talk to that other Walker on the field with the Colts, Anthony Walker. Here's our interview with the Mike linebacker. Here with the quarterback of the defense, Anthony Walker, number 50. How are things going so far in this first week, I guess, of training camp?
Yeah, I mean, guys just, getting the wrinkles out from the offseason. We're learning to play together again and just buying into the brotherhood. It starts all over again in camp, Last year was last year. This is a whole new year, a whole new process of building from the ground up. So just trying to lay the foundation here each day. That's what camp is about. How
does this training camp change for you? Do you try to bring new things into your game or try to work on anything specifically this year?
For me, just practice every day. Last year, I got hurt the 4th day, and I missed the entire camp. And I was a little upset because I didn't get the chance to build that brotherhood, be out here with the guys grinding every day through all the nicks and pains and everything like that. This is where you build that foundation as a defense, and you see, who's willing to go through the ground with you. And when you go through those tough times during the season, the guys you grinded with, all in August and July, that's who you're ready to go to war for, during the season. So this year, I just wanted to go make sure that, I kept my body healthy enough to get through this grind and, just get better each day. And all facets of the game, me as a linebacker, I have to be able to take on blocks, dropping pass coverage, all that stuff, make tackles. So, just going back to the fundamentals, and that's what camp is about.
Did you feel like you were a little bit behind entering the season last year because of missing training camp?
Yeah, for sure. You don't get those reps back. You can try to do as much mental, as much studying as you want, but there's nothing like playing football. So, I had to come back and get in football shape and, get those practice reps that I missed in the game. So, definitely was a learning curve, but, I thought for the most part, I was able to bounce back.
A lot of the experts talk about this Colts offense so much, but the defense seems to be growing, and the speed is absolutely unmatched. Give me your take on how this defense can maybe unfold and play a huge role this season.
Well, like you said, you look at the offense. When you want to talk about them all the time.
Yeah.
You got to look at quarterback and T.Y. and all those guys. They're as good as advertised. All those guys, they work hard every day. But defensively, we don't want to be overshadowed either. We feel like we have a chip on our shoulder again. Like you said, we don't get the the respect that we deserve, and it's fine. We got to come out and earn it every day. That's what this league is about. It's an earn it league. You got to earn it every day. So we got to earn it on the practice field, earn it in the preseason games, and then when the first game come around, we have to be ready to go. So again, we're year 2 into the system. So if you look at the film from last year's camp to first day to this year's camp first day, and it's night and day. Guys are flying around. Guys understand what they're doing. It's definitely a lot faster. So.
All right, personally, I know your rookie season, we ended up talking to your father on the field. You're really close with your family. What's that relationship like, and how important is the family for you in your football life?
Yeah, you talk about my dad, my whole family, but my dad more so was a football coach when I was growing up. So me being his son, I was always, with him, always studying film and all that stuff. So I kind of learned the game of football at a real early age. And then once I kind of got the X's and O's and, started physically getting the build and everything like that, it was kind of, you got to play football. So my dad played basketball growing up, and I really loved basketball, but my dad would not let me play it. So, for me, it was just going out there, learning as much as I could from the older guys. My dad put me around, he was coaching a lot of guys, that he told me to watch and make sure that, I'm paying attention to how they play the game. So, me being from Miami, that's kind of football country.
You bet it is.
Me being able to learn from so many guys there and apply it when I go play, I think that was definitely big for me. So, my dad definitely did play a big role in, me being here today.
And I know your football career is just budding now, but you're looking even beyond, and you've told us that you'd love to have a job like Chris Ballard once you're done with football. Why? What gets you fired up about running a football team?
Yeah, you think about the X's and O's and all that stuff, but if you're able to put the right pieces together, kind of like you see basketball nowadays, everybody's doing the super teams and all that stuff. I don't think it's a super team. I think as you put the right pieces in place, you got anybody can make a run. So, I think that's what kind of got me into I want to be the Chris Ballard job. But, nowadays, you look at that job and you're like, oh, that's a little demanding.
A lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure, a lot of time demands. I think I'm a do the behind the scenes work for a team. Definitely want to work for a team when I'm done playing, but more so behind the scenes. Basically like David Thornton, being a player engagement person. Keeping the guys focused, being that mentor for them. It's great for a former player to go back and do that job because we understand the dog days. We understand everything that can happen for a football player. So that would be a great job for me. But I won't count out the Chris Ballard job either. I think I could put some chess pieces together.
I know you also like video games too, and I've been told to ask you. Your Madden rating is just a 69. What's the story with that?
I mean,
does that bother you?
No, not at all. I don't control the ratings. I'm happy to be on the game. Before, when I was playing growing up, I was like, man, I can't wait till I'm playing with myself. And I don't care if I'm a 59, 49, 100. I'm always going to play with myself. So I have fun playing the game. It's just another way for me to actually learn the game. That's how I take it. I try to win every time I'm playing, and I'll take on any competitor anytime. So I'm very competitive when it comes to it.
Now the Maniac is an 86, and he's kind of your running mate, Darius Leonard. You've got a close relationship. We see you guys in the locker room having a good time together before games, after games. What's it like working with him? And wow, what a player he is, huh?
Yeah,
50.
First of all, he makes it easy to come to work every day. That's my roommate for camp as well. So we have fun sun up to sundown and do it all again the next day. So definitely love being around him. Like you said, he's an amazing player. You see him practice every day. He goes out and earn it every day. He doesn't take a day off. He understands, that it's a grind. You got to earn it in practice so you do it in the game. And if you see the way he practices, there's no secret about it. There's no magic pill. There's no, nothing crazy about it. He does it every day in practice, so he does it every day in the game. I love, seeing him play. But, it's a race to the ball every time.
We look forward to seeing you two guys all season long. Have a great year, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right.
Appreciate it.
We'll get our first look at Walker and the Colts in a competitive environment, game environment, when they open the preseason a week from tomorrow. I can't believe it's already here in Buffalo. Then we got a couple of home games. The Chicago Bears come into town on the following Saturday. Then it's a great week with the Cleveland Browns. 2 days of scrimmaging up here at training camp in Westfield. They'll break camp, and then they'll have the game against the Browns at Lucas Oil, and then they'll wrap things up, as they always do, with the Cincinnati Bengals. All right, back here with not Anthony Walker, Andrew Walker.
Yeah. Not Andrew Luck, not Anthony Walker.
Speaking of Andrew Luck,
yeah.
What is our level of concern here as we go down here, the training camp week number 3 coming up?
It's hard not to say there's some concern because of just the way that yesterday kind of unfolded, where you have a day off and then you might expect him to be out in pads, and he wasn't out. But then they addressed it and kind of talked about how it's just the lingering calf thing. And I think the good news is, and maybe the more frustrating news is it's a muscle thing. It's not a bone where you put it in a cast and it heals eventually. And it's not something that requires surgery where you can say, here's your timeline, where you'll get back. It's a muscle thing. It just keeps, coming up on them, very, very lingering type thing. So they're just going to have to change it up a little bit, figure out the right method to get this going. And, the thing is, they've got plenty of time, a little less than 6 weeks till week 1. It'd obviously be ideal to get him out in the preseason sometime, get work with Devin Funchess and Paris Campbell, but still, you want him ready for week 1, so I think that's the concern right now.
I thought it was interesting that he said he still has mental scars from recovering from the shoulder issue, and that may be holding him back here.
And it maybe in a good way. He's thinking, I can't push it here. We all saw him come out early September in 2017, try to throw a little bit and try to maybe push it a little bit, and he learned from that. He said, I can't let my, attitude there and wanting to be the team guy get in the way of my health, because overall my health is the most important thing for this team. Best thing he said was, I can't come out here and be average. If I'm in pain, I'm average. I need to be better than that for this team.
He had a slow start coming back at the beginning of last season from the shoulder. Let's hope we don't have the same situation where he doesn't get out here enough to be fully comfortable with this new offense and a lot of new players.
And that's the thing. You have a little less than 6 weeks, like I said, to get ready. Again, ideally, maybe second, third preseason game, you get some snaps in there. But if he doesn't, you're doing the right thing to make sure he's ready for week 1 against maybe one of the top defenses, if not the top defenses in the Chargers.
You bet. Andrew Walker, Colts.com. Thanks for spending some time with us on the webcast.
Thanks for having me and my brother Anthony. Appreciate it.
Great duo for sure. Thanks for joining us on this webcast, and you can see us same time, same place on Wednesday, guys.